Greetings, everyone, and welcome to our Monday live presentation that we do every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We gather here to share information to help empower others on how to get free from the current debt-based monetary system that's designed to keep us working from paycheck to paycheck until we really can't work anymore. Okay. We have a simple plan that has thousands of years of history of proof um, to show you how to outpace inflation and protect your financial economic future from inflation and being confiscated from inflation or any future or current economic crisis that may happen. There's a lot going on in this world today. You are aware, you see the stock market came tumbling down. It's been doing that for the last couple of days. Uh, all the commodities, Bitcoin, crypto, everything's crashing. But even gold and silver went down, but they're recovering. It's similar to what happened during the pandemic when everything just dropped. But gold and silver, they quickly rebound. So we want to show you how you can acquire assets, all right? Real assets like precious metals, uh, gold and silver at wholesale prices. Through Mint Builder's membership, it offers you wholesale price of precious metals, but also it offers you an opportunity to start a home-based business with no additional costs. So without any further delay, we're going to start showing some slides. Normally, I only show one video, but I came across two videos today that I was watching, and both of them has information that I think the world needs to hear. So we're going to get right into this presentation. I'm going to back that up and stop that share because here we go. Here we go.
It is glorious.
Like I said, welcome to our presentation. We do this every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am co-founder of Ra. Turn to your royalty warriors. And Ra is another name for the sun that sustains our life here on this planet. Without the sun, none of us would be able to actually live. No life form would be able to live without that sun. And when we say return to your royalty, we basically mean if you haven't already, the Sankofa back to knowledge of self and love of self. So hopefully you can become, if not already, a good servant leader that the world needs so many more today. And WARRIORS is an acronym for winning at receiving residual income over receiving salaries because we know a salary is not going to get us free. If you seek freedom, then this presentation is for you. If you're not interested in economic freedom, then maybe this information may not be for you. So a warrior's first instruction is to return order and balance. And we want to show you how you can return the order and balance to the economics of your home, the most important economics there is. So regardless of what's ever going on in the world, we have a plan that can help you secure your family's financial future. And this is a Mint Builders presentation. We want to show you how to stack more and spend less. We're not financial advisors. We're not going to give you any financial advice or anything like that. No tax advice or anything like that. Basically going to do is show you what we do, and hopefully it will spark some interest, and you'll see that saving precious metals, it just makes sense. So our economy is in irreversible trouble. Are you prepared? Because our currency is on its way to zero. So what can you do to protect yourself? This is one thing that we can do, and most people don't even understand this. I'm talking about people in the financial market. That currency and money are two different things. And we're going to show you what we mean by that during this presentation. Your financial wellness is our mission. What we want to do here is show you how to grow your wealth, help reduce anxiety so you can enjoy life and live your dream freedom lifestyle. And there's many reasons why this presentation is timely. If you're paying attention, you know that there's very globally uncertainty all but dictates the necessity of a stable store of value and wealth. Inflation is winning. It's real. It's robbing us of our labor. And globally, housing, groceries prices, they're not sustainable. Prices continually seem like they go up and up and up. But what's actually happening is the dollar bill is continuously losing its value. Companies laying off people in droves, and artificial intelligence will replace a lot more workers. In the days of finding a job with benefits that one can retire from, them days are gone. I know they talk about new jobs are being added, but most of them new jobs being added, those are part-time gig jobs with no benefits, no retirement, nothing. But if you don't show up, you don't get paid. Then we got central banks that's printing cash at unprecedented rates. And paper currency is going digital. Pretty much it already has. And bricks are something that and then we have Fed now. A lot of people use their cell phone to make purchases or plastic card. Then we have the central bank digital currency. That's a programmable currency that most central banks around the globe are working on, where they want to remove physical cash out of circulation and have everything digitalized. So they can actually basically control what you spend, know what you spend, and where you spend, how much you spend. Less freedoms. That's the future if you don't take heed to this information. And the lasting effects of COVID, supply chains, inflation are all still handcuffed in the global markets. And these are not opinions, these are facts everywhere on our planet. Well, I stand corrected. I got 3 videos that we got to play here.
You see, the average black family passes on, listen to this, $0 to the next generation. Yep, I said 0. That means when somebody dies, the family gets nothing. No wonder we cry so much at funerals. We're grieving twice, grieving over losing a loved one and grieving that they didn't leave us anything. You see, other ethnic groups leave wills, but we leave bills. Well, what does Proverbs 13:22 say? A good person leaves an inheritance to his children's children. That means our money should impact at least 3 generations. It should impact ours, our children's, and our grandchildren's. So we have to start building generational wealth.
And that's what we're going to show you in this presentation, how we can simply follow this proven historical plan. So this is one of the second video we're going to show you.
Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. The global financial markets are crashing. While a major correction was certainly expected, as the Bank of Japan recently began to increase interest rates, and I will explain why that matters in just a minute, the complete tailspin still took everyone by surprise. The Federal Reserve and global central banks have spent several years now playing with fire by keeping interest rates artificially low, while building this truly massive wall of debt, a bubble. Now that it is clear that a strong earthquake is about to hit, that sandcastle is collapsing. Japan's Nikkei saw the biggest single-day tumble since the 1987 crash. It dropped 12.4% early Monday morning on the news of much worse than expected economic data from the United States. There was a flashing red sign that a massive economic downturn is just around the corner. And so as investors began selling equities to cut their losses, the Nikkei panic sell-off was so intense that a circuit breaker was triggered to halt it. By the way, since mid-July, total market cap losses are in excess of $5 trillion with a T, trillion dollars. In the United States on Monday, the Dow Jones Industrial Average crashed above 1,000 points, or 2.7%, by mid-morning. Additionally, S&P dropped 3.1% and Nasdaq erased 3.6%. The S&P 500 erased nearly $2.1 trillion of market cap. Crypto market crashed nearly 17%, with Bitcoin dipping well below $50,000. The dramatic drop in Bitcoin, by the way, screams loud and clear, in my personal opinion, that Bitcoin can never become a true safe haven asset, or a reserve asset, if you will, due to its extreme volatility. The dramatic bloodbath and the bear market are now causing fears of a severe global crisis, of a severe global recession. Coupled with the increasing uncertainty of what the next several days may bring in the Middle East, think crude oil here and commodities, is a perfect storm that can very quickly upend the already fragile and further weakening U.S. economy, with very serious risks to bank liquidity. In other words, this is just the beginning. So, how did this bloodbath begin? Let's take a look at it in very, very simple terms. At the most recent meeting, the Bank of Japan made a decision to end the negative rate policy and to increase interest rates by a quarter point. While this may not sound like a big deal to many of us in the United States, but here's why it was a very important event. First of all, this was the second rate hike in Japan since 2007. For over a decade, traders used artificially low interest rates in Japan to borrow yen and then use that borrowed money, that borrowed yen, to purchase US dollars or euros. So in that transaction, the Japanese yen was used as leverage thanks to extremely low rates set by the Bank of Japan. This pattern is known as the yen carry trade. The Bank of Japan kept rates very low, while the Federal Reserve started to raise rates in March of 2022 and continued to hike rates through mid-2023. As they did that, the spread between interest rates enabled the yen carry trade to bring substantial profits to investors via these margin loans. However, nothing lasts forever, we know that very well. The central bank in the EU and the Federal Reserve here in the US are now on track to cut rates, while the Bank of Japan increased its rate by a quarter point. This resulted in an unwinding of the yen carry positions. So what do we have now? The yen has been growing stronger against the dollar, which brings an end to margin loans. As margin loans are no longer profitable and they're called, the carry trade is unwinding and equity markets around the world are crashing. That is what's happening in a nutshell. But make no mistake, this isn't a routine event. It has extreme economic implications. First of all, we have to understand that the United States economy is very much important on the global scale. The most recent July labor report that I discussed yesterday was an extremely concerning indicator that those of us in the United States are about to experience a massive economic slowdown. Not a recession, a much worse event than that, given that the labor market data has been as unreliable as it can be. We don't know the real numbers, as prior months are revised down routinely. It has become a norm to revise down economic data. Full-time employment is dropping as the number of part-time jobs surges. Delinquency rates are up across the board. Take vehicle loans, credit card loans, and other consumer-type lending products. They show considerable weakness now. The most recent reports show that car repossessions are surging 23% as more and more Americans are falling behind on monthly car payments. Vehicle seizures are typically triggered after 3 months of missed car payments, by the way. So far in 2024, repos are up 23% compared with the same period last year. By the way, I did upload a quick video yesterday with further details on the recent labor reports, if you would like to get more context on that. Now, the banks in the United States are increasing their reserves. They're doing this because they now carry a significant amount of bad debt on their books. Consumer debt as well as commercial real estate loans with underlying collateral, commercial buildings, sitting at best half vacant, if not completely vacant. In other words, that collateral isn't worth as much as needed to secure the loans. In total, there is more than $1 trillion in commercial real estate loans that will come due over the next 2 years. So that is another factor to consider when understanding the scale of this economic crisis. Following the global market crash this morning, prediction markets are now indicating that recession odds in the United States have nearly doubled overnight to 26%. If you watched my video yesterday, you may recall that last week, Goldman raised their expectation of a recession from 15% to 25%. The bubble is about to burst. Federal debt is growing at 3 times the rate of GDP. U.S. national debt increased by $120 billion in 3 days, so we're reaching $36 trillion in no time. But as the global markets are showing larger and larger cracks and signs of a looming massive crisis, worse than 2008 financial crisis, begin to show, remember that this isn't out of the blue. This is not a surprise. After all, we've had people like Jared Bernstein running the show for several years now, and this clip of him is a good one to save for future reference, to remind ourselves who is responsible for the economic bloodbath that's about to come.
The U.S. government can't go bankrupt because we can print our own money.
It obviously begs the question, why exactly are we borrowing in a currency that we print ourselves? I'm waiting for someone to stand up and say, why do we borrow our own currency in the first place?
Like you said, they print the dollar. So why does the government even borrow?
Well, again, some of this stuff gets, some of the language that some of the language and concepts are just confusing. I mean, the government definitely prints money, and it definitely lends that money, which is why the government definitely prints money, and then it lends that money by selling bonds. Is that what they do? They sell bonds. Yeah, they sell bonds, right? Because they sell bonds and people buy the bonds and lend them the money. Yeah. So a lot of times, at least to my ear with MMT, the language and the concepts can be kind of unnecessarily confusing, but there is no question that the government prints money and then it uses that money to yeah, I guess I can't really talk. I don't get it. I don't know what they're talking about. Like, because it's like the government clearly prints money. It does it all the time, and it clearly borrows. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having this debt and deficit conversation. So I don't think there's anything confusing there.
Thank you for joining me today. Please.
So you hear what he said, that the U.S. government prints money, and he is the chair of the Economic Advisory Board for the President of the United States, Joe Biden. And he doesn't even know how the system works. And he's actually calling cash money. You see, money cannot be printed. Only cash and currency can be printed. So we have people in high places that's in control of the economy of the United States, pretty much the world, who don't even know what we're about to show you today, that real money is precious metals.
Morning.
Morning.
Good to see you, Adrian.
See you. Morning, Silver Dragon.
Good to see you, Harry.
You too.
And it is an insane day right off the bat. I mean, we got to talk about it. It's Monday.
Black Monday.
Yeah, everything is getting murdered. So, I mean, where are we at right now?
The metals, actually have recovered some this morning. Silver was down over $2 earlier this morning. It's still down $1.37 an ounce. Gold was down about $70 2 hours ago. Now it's recovered. Now it's only down $44.30. Look at platinum, palladium, just everything is way down, and on a percentage basis, it's pretty scary. I mean, silver is almost 5% down, and gold was over 2% down again a little earlier this morning. And I think this market's doing better than, say, the Japanese stock market, which was down a record amount overnight, and the U.S. stock market opened 1,000 points lower just this morning. And apparently the cryptocurrencies are suffering badly too, as is the price of oil. So it's one of those mornings when there's no proportions like one goes up, the other goes down. Everything's down today.
Yeah, everything did go down. And as you mentioned, silver at one point, it was down, what, like $2 or over?
$2, yes.
Oh my goodness. This reminds me of like when COVID got kicked off and the metals dipped initially with everything. It was just a sell off across the board. But then they did recover very fast. I mean, gold went to an all-time high and the rest is history. Do you think this is just a temporary thing with the metals, or is this a new trend that we're starting here?
Everything's temporary. Is it just today? I don't think so. I think, the market is going to have to recover over the next few days and maybe the next week, where there's so much fear out there that people are selling what they have. And when you sell a lot of assets, be it gold or stocks or anything else, it depresses the prices. And so what's going on here probably won't end today. I hope it does, but the truth is, I think we're in for a rocky ride this week. Now, the other side of the coin, pun intended, would be all the trouble in the world. I mean, the Middle East is about to blow sky high, especially when you consider that Iran is saber rattling towards Israel, and to save face, those evil mullahs are going to have to go and do something in revenge for their guest being killed the other day. Good riddance. That maybe could strengthen the metals market, because metals really respond positively to strife in the world. But there's a weird mix going on here. There's a fear of inflation, and now a very real fear of a recession in the United States. And because of that, the markets are just selling off, be it metals, be it the stock market, be it any other commodity that's for sale. It's a bloodbath.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think, Adrian? I mean, I know you're in tune with this stuff, and you pointed out crypto is getting murdered. What do you think about all this?
Yeah, I mean, if we're comparing metals to the other markets and crypto, I would say with metals, you see that they dropped in price. But I mean, just looking at gold, it's down 1.7%, where, all the other markets are at least 3% or higher.
Yeah.
Down. So it's not something that you see normally, where the market comes down as far as the stocks, but as well as gold and silver. So it's something that's very, reminiscent of the pandemic, kind of like you were saying, where you see just everything dropping. So I would say if you had some money in the market or in gold, I mean, if you had some gold, you're still okay. I mean, you're still at $2,400 an ounce, whereas the Dow is down, over 1,000 points.
Yeah, I would prefer to have money in gold. I think when we see a sell-off like this, it's not that people necessarily want to be selling their gold or silver, but there's margin calls and they have to sell what they can. It's the only choice they really have.
Yeah, and the thing I like about metals too is you don't lose weight. You still have the ounce of gold. The price might go down a little bit, but you still have your 1 ounce of gold.
Yeah, if you're measuring it against other metals, then yeah, it doesn't change when you're holding the physical.
Adrian just hit the nail right on the head with what he just said, because a lot of stackers are stacking gold and silver because it's days like this, because of no confidence in the stock market, no confidence in the future of the dollar. As Adrian said, if you have your metals, you still have them. Why get overly concerned about measuring them against something you already don't believe in? If you have 300 ounces of silver and 5 ounces of gold, unless you panic and sell it today, you still have it, and you'll have it tomorrow. And that's why you bought it, is because if this is the collapse, you've got your metal. That's why you bought it.
Today is not a day to be selling anything as far as gold and silver. I mean, I would want to be buying on the dips. To me, this looks like an opportunity to get in, get more. And, one thing I want to get your thoughts on is the premiums. Mm-hmm. Because we know that a lot of coin shops, when they see days like today, they'll actually just raise the premium to where they're selling stuff basically for the same price that they were on Saturday. Do you guys actually lower your silver and gold prices when we see a dip like this?
Absolutely. We feel like our customers are bright people. They're not idiots. And so to try to pass off a new premium at the old price, let's say of Saturday, which was the last day most of us were open, and get away with it, I don't think is a winning strategy. I haven't quite put everything away yet, but on Saturday, our constitutional, our junk silver, we were selling at 22 times face. This morning, we're at 20 times face. So we are reflecting a real difference in the price today. Let's go over here to the rounds and bars. On Saturday, this is what we were selling everything for. Look at today's prices. They almost directly reflect the dip in the price, about $1.50 an ounce.
Actually, yeah, with rounds, I mean, for right now, silver's only down $1.25, and you lowered the price $1.50.
Well,
so
bear in mind, I printed this 20 minutes ago, the new price, and it's so volatile this morning, I'll probably end up doing it twice again today because I was responding, or reacting rather, to the $1.50 plus drop 20 minutes ago.
yeah, it's going to be a crazy day. And I said in my last video on Saturday, I'm expecting extreme volatility this week, and we're definitely seeing that right now.
Yeah, and this will separate the true stackers from those who are just goofing around, because those who are in it for the long term, in it to protect their families from the unknown, this is just one of those days. It's a bad day, but no matter what happens on that board today, you still have your stack.
Yeah, I think it's really important. I mean, basically, as you were just saying, that you measure your wealth in ounces, not in dollars, because the dollar could go to zero. It could hyperinflate and not exist in a few years, 10 years, 20 years from now. But if you are measuring your wealth and how many ounces of silver you have, how many ounces of gold you have, it literally doesn't matter what the dollar does.
Exactly, because it's, think about it, the yen, right? What's happened to the yen these past few days? And if you're measuring your ounce of gold versus the yen, it's like, but you still have your ounce of gold.
Exactly.
You don't have to sell it in yen. I'd rather have the ounces than digits on the screen.
Yeah, I would too.
During the Great Depression, there were fortunes lost. Everyone knows that. That's history. But what's not talked about very often is the fortunes gained during the Great Depression. People like the Kennedy family, for instance, were picking up real estate at pennies on the dollar, picking up stock at pennies on the dollar. So the really smart money will look at a situation like this and say, maybe time to add to the stack, or add to my portfolio of stocks, or add to my real estate holdings. Because markets like this can lose fortunes, but if you're courageous, it could make fortunes.
I absolutely agree with that. And I think, like you said, the smart stackers are going to be picking up more today. And I hope lots of coin shops around the country are following suit and actually lowering the prices, because when they raise the premium to just combat the dips, to me, that feels really fishy. It's like, come on, like, we know the price went down.
Yeah, I mean, the truth is, you got to vote with your feet when you're a buyer. If you're being played like that from your local shop, don't buy from them. Be smart today. The prices should reflect the dip in the market.
And I guess another thing too is, I'm sure people don't want to be selling. But if you were selling when we see the price go down, obviously the buyback prices are going to go down too as well, right?
Sure they are. Sure they are.
Yeah.
But you can just sit on the sidelines and just enjoy your stack today. Be glad you have it, because this might be a period of time that defines why you bought it. Maybe it gets a lot worse out there. Maybe the Middle East becomes World War III, God forbid. But that's why you bought it.
Kind of what Harry was saying too. If you've been waiting on the sidelines to jump in gold, I mean, days like this are good opportunities. I mean, I don't know what the price is going to do, but you want to buy when it's down. So as they say, be a contrarian investor.
And to what Adrian said, if you follow the crowd and the crowd takes you in the right direction, it'll be the first time in history. So I wouldn't follow the crowd today or any other day.
Yeah. Well, I think, people look at metals as an alternative asset. But for me, I look at them as like one of the main things you should be doing with all the craziness going on. I don't trust the government. I don't trust the markets. I don't trust countries around the world. I do trust metals. They've been money for thousands of years, and they will always be money.
Yeah, and the money you have in your safe, under your bed, in the hole in the backyard, is still there unless you sell into this weakness.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that people don't need to sell. I think if you don't need to sell, you absolutely should not be selling, because as we saw during COVID, the metals dipped pretty hard, but they recovered very quickly, and they've been doing very well ever since then. So I think this could just be a temporary thing, but we'll have to wait and see.
Everything's a temporary thing.
So some things that I got out of that is that the first one is that because of the volatility of Bitcoin, it really cannot be a a safe store of value. But we have thousands of years of historical facts that gold and silver is a safe store of value and wealth. And you heard what he said. He's calling this gold and silver money, because that's what money is. 1971. And I'm going to tell you what happened in 1971 later on in this presentation, but something happened to the financial market here and globally in 1971. So most people dream of becoming wealthy and achieving financial success and living life on their terms. But the reality is that most and many will never realize their dream because they don't take the right action. They don't participate in behavior that promotes success. They do the exact opposite, participate in behavior that doesn't promote success and that ensures them staying broke. Wealth is not luck. It's about having the right education. You see, unfortunately, our school system is not designed to teach us how to become wealthy. The school system is simply designed to teach us to become workers, not good workers, just workers, and work for that dollar bill, thinking that we are working for money, which in actuality, we're actually working for something that they can create out of thin air, currency. And you have to have a plan. If you want to have wealth, you have to have a plan. I've heard it said, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So we have a plan here at Mint Builders. People have been doing this for decades, if not centuries, probably, yeah, centuries, I would say centuries. And once you start this plan, you just have to be consistent, you know? And that plan is real simple. You just pay yourself first. You just want to make sure that it's not made out of paper. So what do I mean when I say pay yourself first? A portion of everything that you earn should be yours to keep beyond your lifetime. That's how you have that mindset of building that generational wealth, okay? Because it's the missing ingredients in most of our families. My father and mother was not able to pass on any wealth to me, really, because they didn't know. Well, we have the information today, and it's our mission to pass this information on to as many people as we can so that they can start passing that down to their families. And you want to start basically in the book, The Richest Man in Babylon, they say you should save at least 10% of everything that you earn. But remember, make sure it's not made out of paper because paper is going to lose value. It always will and always has. So saving is the first step. Many think that they need more income to get started. And that's why so many people who've been working 10, 20 years don't even have $1,000 saved for an emergency fund. So you can start with that emergency fund. Get you an emergency fund of at least $1,000 in precious metals, because precious metals can expedite that savings. And precious metals are assets, you see, because all paper fiat currency that most mistakenly called money has one destination, and that is zero. You look at this chart on the right-hand side, the purchasing power of the US dollar from 1913 to 2020. Federal Reserve was created in 2013. It is not the federal government. It's a privately owned banking cartel that controls basically the whole monetary money system of the entire planet today. Okay, and something happened in 1933. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, he confiscated all the gold and bullion from the U.S. citizens. I believe they gave them $25 an ounce back then. Then a few months later, they raised the price and value of gold to $35. So they basically robbed the people who had real money of almost half their wealth. Yeah, this is what the government does. So you see why the man said he don't trust the government. But in 1944, the Bretton Woods Agreement was established with the United States currency, the US dollar, becoming the world's reserve currency. Okay, that meant that all the currency just about in the planet was tied to the US dollar. Okay, most countries had to do business in the US dollar. They had to trade their currency for US dollars to do business globally, which devalued their currency, which is the reason why so many companies ended up in chaos, basically economically, while the U.S. economy continuously grew and grew and grew. But in 1971, Nixon did something. He ended that Bretton Woods agreement. He ended the gold window. He ended the gold standard. So now the United States didn't have to have a certain amount of gold in their reserve to create that cash anymore. So what happened? They started creating cash out of thin air, nothing backing it, in order to continue to fund the Vietnam War. That's right. And usher in the war on drugs. And you see how rapidly the value of the dollar decreased from 1971 to 2020. So the US dollar has lost 97% of its buying power since it started in 1913. Another chart will show you this red line going up is the currency in circulation. You see from January 1971, remember that year, 1971 to 2018, the money supply increased 32.3 times, and that was accompanied by a 94% drop in the purchasing power of the dollar. So the price inflation is a direct consequence of the increased money supply. You see the dollar bill, how it lost value rapidly from 1971 to 2018 because they started creating that cash out of thin air now. And they haven't stopped yet. This is a graph that I did the other day. This is showing you gold price from 2020 to the other day, and how this chart is going up in value. This is a gram of gold, 5-year chart. You see it's an upward trajectory. You know, some people say, well, the price will go down. Yeah, it will fluctuate, but it's always going to fluctuate in an upward trajectory. Now, on the right-hand side, you see the purchasing power of the dollar since January the 1st, 2000. It's lost 58%. It's down to 58%. I mean, excuse me. That $1 is now worth 58.8 cents. So the dollar is always going to go down. And like it has one destination, and that's zero. Little known facts, banks are trading their currency for silver and gold because they know what real money is. The central banks own 25% of all the gold. That's 1.5 billion ounces. And they're moving. Why are they moving heavily into precious metals? Because the world fiat currency is changing. Remember I mentioned BRICS earlier? I'm not going to go into what BRICS is all about. I hope you do your own research and find out more about BRICS. Chase owns 675 million ounces of silver. So precious metal assets come in two distinct forms here at Mint Builders, okay? This is what your membership gives you access to. We have bullion and then we have numismatics, okay? Bullion is crisis protection like we were talking about earlier, in case for personal or global economic crisis. If you have bullion, like the man said in the video, you're okay. There's a reason why we get this, because we know the history and we know that it is a safe store of value and wealth. There's lower premiums than numismatics, and it's definitely outperformed cash. I don't even have to say no more about that. Then we had numismatics. They're priced a little bit above bullion price. They're not dependent upon the market. And they're sonically preserved. It's like buying a rare art piece because only so many are created. And they can create some instant wealth for you. For example, in 2018, this store, 1 ounce silver, was selling to its members for $45. For 2022, it was selling for $175 for 1 ounce silver of a Thor collector's edition. That's a 95% value increase per year. So there's a secret to almost instant wealth gains. You get enough of these numismatics, and you can grow your wealth a little bit quicker. And these are some of the products that we have. Not all of them. Don't have enough time to share everything that Mint Builders offers its members. But we also have a 120 serving package of long-term emergency food supply. Like the man said in the video, things could get a lot worse than we really think they are now. We also have infinite banking, which is a wholesale life insurance policy where you can become your own bank, borrow from yourself at less interest rates than the bank while still having that policy in place in case something happened to you. And this is a lifetime insurance. It's not a term life insurance, it's whole life insurance. Then we have free storage for our members. And then we have this amazing product called My Mint Wallet. And we're going to show another quick little video. This is a shorter one about this amazing product.
Physical gold meets digital benefits. Mint Builder has taken physical gold ownership into the future with My Mint Wallet. This is the most cost-effective and secure way to own gold and silver. This proprietary product provides you with gold and silver access previously dominated by large institutions and banks. You now have direct access to instantly buy, sell, or transfer your precious metals through My Mint Wallet. Unlike ETFs, exchange-traded funds, you will enjoy 100% ownership of pure, physical gold and silver that is securely stored in segregated and insured vaults with our partner IDS of Texas. The benefits of My Mint Wallet are extensive and impressive. Your benefits include extremely low premiums, especially for wholesale members, digital tracking to the 100th of an ounce of gold and 1 ounce of silver in real time, 100% direct ownership of pure physical gold and silver, secure vault storage at no additional cost, fully insured accounts, the ability to quickly sell in real time and have your funds transferred directly to your bank, or use your funds to purchase silver and gold from your shop to have physically delivered assets. Daily audits to continually ensure each account is properly funded. Seeing the value of your precious metals holdings in real time all the time. You can even transfer precious metals from your wallet to another member's wallet. 100% of your precious metals purchase is deposited on account as physical gold and silver in the highly secure IDS of Texas vaults. You have complete ownership over your gold and silver holdings, and with the click of a button, can sell at the current market price, have the funds placed into your wallet, and use these funds right away to pick the items you would like to take physical delivery of. This allows you to have the flexibility to choose from many different options for physical product delivery. You also have the option to simply have funds deposited directly into your bank account. We even provide you with the ability to transfer gold and silver to another member. Your My Mint Wallet is the best way to own the most amount of gold and silver for the lowest cost, while keeping your metals safe from confiscation and robbery. In turn, giving you absolute control and flexibility with your wealth. Owning precious metals has never been so easy and at such low premiums. Be sure to get started with My Mint Wallet and start building your mint today.
So that's My Mint Wallet, and this is what it would look like in your account in real time, how much precious metals you have in your possession, because it is physical, but it's in digital form, and how much you spent for it and how much it has increased in value. You can see all that in real time. And you can, like you said, you can buy, sell, even transfer this to other members within Mint Builder, just with a click of a mouse. So you can set up auto asset savings. These are some of the products that we have that you can set up and save monthly. You can set it and forget it, and put your savings, your wealth building, your generational wealth building on autopilot. That's right. And you can also change, you can pause, or you can cancel your selection at any time. These are some of the things that your membership with Mint Builders offers you. But your subscription also has a deeper impact. We are partnered up with a company called Feed My Starving Children. So if you care about the less fortunate, your membership also helps benefit children who are in need of food. 91% of all the proceeds that go to this organization goes directly to feeding children. Then we have the knowledge base, okay, where you can get the information to educate yourself, training videos, all types of information there to help educate ourselves on why we should be saving real money and not fiat currency. Because historically, every fiat currency is returned to zero in value, and that is a fact. in just a matter of time before the US dollar does the same thing because of all this chaos that's going on in the world. Countries are getting tired. They're really getting tired. And that's why BRICS is emerging, and many countries around the world are ready to join BRICS. So hold on tight because, like the man said, things may get worse. And I truly believe they are going to get worse for those who are not prepared. So your membership with Mint Builders is only $25 a month if you pay annually. That's about $300. That'll cover you for the whole year, or you can pay monthly, $39, only $39. That gives you 50% off asset premiums, 50% off shop premiums. You get free metal storage. You help feed the children. You get the access to the knowledge base, training videos. You have the open vault market seller access, which means that if you have precious metals, you can actually sell your precious metals on the Mint Builder website. Then you also have wholesale access to that amazing product, My Mint Wallet. Then we have a free wealth planning app for our members. We also have discounts on travel and attractions that we use. My wife and I have used many times in the past as we travel and get discounts on where we stay. So there are two distinct people at Mint Builders. Remember I said earlier that you can actually start a home-based business with no additional costs with Mint Builders. You have that option. But we have a lot of people who are just wholesale customers. They purchase a wholesale membership because they know the value of in purchasing precious metals. They don't sell or advertise, promote any business. They just accumulating wealth. But then we have the sales associates. They sell wholesale memberships. They sell precious metals, and they also build a sales organization that does the same, help people learn the power of the exchange. So we don't just stop at accumulating raw assets. We understand that many people are seeking more income, and that's why Mint Builder offers with no additional cost a sales platform for their members, where if a person decides that they want to open a business, they have their own website, their own link. If people go there, they make a purchase, and you're rewarded. They provide all the software needed to track everything going on in your business. They have marketing tools, websites, QR codes, banners that you can put on your website, and so forth and so on. We have, like I said earlier, knowledge base has training videos that are offered. Some team members also do training for their teams also. We have a free Silver Lead capture page. The person watches a short video, takes a short survey. They can receive a free bar of silver just by paying for the shipping. And what happens is this system will start sending them emails to help educate them on the power of the exchange, currency for real money, precious metals. And all the payment processing is handled by Mint Builder. So you're not worried about collecting money from anyone or paying anybody. The system does all that for you. And they also do all the packaging and all the shipping. It's all tracked. So if anything gets lost or stolen, Mint Builder will be able to track it down for you. And that is true. And we also have unlimited commissions. So you can make as much as you want, depending on how much you want. The sky is the limit. Because there are 13 streams of income within Mint Builder. We have a video that can explain this in more detail. We don't have the time. This presentation is not here to talk about the many streams of income. It's mainly to show you how important it is for you to be saving real money and not paper, not digital, but real assets that you can hold. Because if you don't hold it, you really don't own it. Henry Ford said that as well, that the people of the nation do not understand our banking and monetary system, for if they did, I believe there would be a revolution before tomorrow morning. And many people don't know. Even the guy who's the chair of the economic forum, economic group for the president of the United States, don't even know how the monetary system works. So imagine how many people out there working that don't know this. And if you don't have any residual passive income, or at least a plan for residual income, you're really living a very risky life during these days and times. Unemployment came back the other day. So unemployment is going up, and yeah, because there's no security in the job, even a high-paying one. So be smart and don't rely on just one source of income. And Marcus Garvey said the only protection against injustice in man is power, physical, financial, and scientific. Never stop learning. Get your finances in order. So if you're ready to get started, get back with the person that shared this video with you. They can show you how to get started, building that generational wealth that is much needed within our community. So
It is glory.